Helena grows up in the wilderness with her parents, Beth and Jacob. Her father imparts hunting lessons every day, fostering a strong bond between them. One day, a man on an ATV passes by and asks for directions. Beth runs towards him, begging for help, but Helena looks confused. Jacob returns and kills the man. Beth quickly starts the bike, but Helena resists leaving. Beth has to knock her unconscious and drives them away. When Helena wakes up, she finds herself at the police station. Sheriff Clark promises her that she is safe now. Helena finds her mother and requests to go home, but her mother reveals that she has been kidnapped by her father and held captive for 12 years. Helena refuses to believe, calling her mother a liar. Confined in a room, Helena notices her necklace hanging outside the window, realizing her father has come for her. She escapes through the window, puts on the necklace, and calls for her father. Guided by the familiar sound of a bird whistle, Helena reunites with her father. As they are about to leave, the police arrive, and her father is arrested. 20 years later, Helena has removed the tattoos from her face and covers them with makeup. She has a job, an adorable daughter named Marigold, and a husband named Stephen. One day, Helena is driving home from work and finds the police at her house. Thinking her daughter was in danger, she discovers that the police are actually there to find her father. It turns out that last night, during the prisoner transfer, Jacob quietly uncuffed himself, killed guards, and escaped. Stephen learns the truth and is upset that Helena has lied all these years. He takes their daughter and stays at a hotel that night. The news reports her father's crimes and reveals that her mother, unable to recover from the trauma, committed suicide 4 years ago. Helena goes to the basement and uncovers a concealed box filled with mementos from her childhood, including a hunting knife. The doorbell rings and Clark, now her stepfather, arrives to check on her. He expresses regret that Beth never had the opportunity to meet Marigold and reassures Helena that Stephen will forgive her. As Clark leaves, a police officer arrives to escort Helena to the police station. The special agent at the station informs her that her father died in a burned-out car near the Canadian border. They can only identify her father based on his 3 gold teeth. Stephen comes home hoping Helena would explain everything. However, Helena states that if Stephen knew the truth, he would never have loved her in the first place. That evening, Stephen says he has to go to work and may not return tonight. Helena stops him from leaving and finally gathers the courage to admit to Stephen the truth about her childhood through the history of all her tattoos. The next day, Helena brings her family to visit Clark, finally introducing everyone to each other. And Clark shares happy stories about her past with everyone. On the way home, she sees a 3-legged coyote and is reminded of her father telling her that sometimes sacrifices are necessary to survive. That night, while Helena is sleeping, someone approaches her and calls out her childhood nickname. She opens her eyes and sees her father. Startled, she realizes it was just a dream. Feeling uneasy, she checks on her daughter. The next morning, Helena discovers fresh dirt on the floor. She checks all the doors and outside, only to realize it was from her daughter's shoes. At the market, Helena hears a familiar bird whistle sound and catches a glimpse of her father. She chases after him but finds nothing. Returning home, Helena sets up traps around the house's perimeter. At night, she secures all the doors and windows. After putting her daughter to sleep, she reflects on old memories through a photo album. Suddenly, a bell rings. Helena quickly grabs a knife and goes outside to investigate, only to find a dead rabbit. Hearing a noise inside, she rushes back and runs into Stephen, who has just arrived. Unable to sleep that night, Helena calls Clark to share her concerns about the suspicious incident with the rabbit. She suspects her father might be alive. Clark dismisses her fears as paranoia. Helena finds 2 straw figures in Marigold's room, identical to the ones her father used to make. After dropping her daughter off at school, she informs Stephen that she will be leaving for a few days. Helena buys supplies and sets out on the road to the wilderness. After a long journey, she finally arrives at the cabin where she spent her childhood and finds it in a very dilapidated state. She places the 2 straw figures by the window. Jacob shows up and calls Helena by her childhood nickname. They revisit the place where they used to hunt together. Jacob discloses that he has to sacrifice 3 gold teeth to fake his death. He tells Helena that they should take Marigold to Canada and live as a family. Helena declines, stating that she already has a happy family and asks her father to leave them alone. Jacob agrees and hugs her goodbye. Passing by the cabin again, Helena encounters Clark. He has a feeling that she might come here after a call from Stephen. Jacob appears, Gunfire erupts, and Clark is shot. Believing Helena led the police to him, Jacob angrily throws her into a pit, threatening that he is going to bring Marigold to live with them. Helena manages to escape and discovers Clark has died. Recalling seeing her father hide a hunting rifle under the cabin floor as a child, Helena retrieves it and tracks Jacob, who is rowing away in a canoe. Helena takes aim and shoots, prompting Jacob to jump into the water. Utilizing the outdoor skills Jacob taught her as a child, she continues to track him to a marshland where Jacob hides. He shoots Helena in the leg and handcuffs her, forcing her to lead him to the kayak she used to get there. They reach the edge of a cliff. Helena pretends to slip. As Jacob attempts to pull her up, she uses her handcuffs to strangle him, and both fall off the cliff into the river. After a while, Helena gradually regains consciousness and notices a gun nearby. She tries to reach for it but is grabbed by Jacob. She struggles to break free. Helena manages to grab the gun and points it at her father. As Jacob is about to reach for another gun, Helena shoots him in the head. Finally, Helena manages to get up and leaves the marshland behind.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.